Currently, the personal development industry is valued at over $40 billion. And by 2030, it's estimated to grow to over $80 billion. Why? Because people are actually figuring out how important and how helpful it is, and honestly, how profitable it can be. Why am I a life coach? Yes, it's to make some money, but it's to make impact, and it's because I believe in this work. I do it myself. It's changed my life. I've helped change others. It's not a joke. So let's bust some myths and talk about why coaching is not a bunch of bullshit.
Welcome to the Needy and Normal podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Levering, mom, wife, and life coach. After hours of coaching and learning from my own life, one thing is clear: meeting your needs is essential for a better life. Here, we'll talk about your needs and not only learn to accept them, but also tend to them without guilt. Let's get needy. Welcome back. I'm not going to lie, you might not know the difference, but I skipped last week. I was on a streak and I was so pumped up and proud of myself. And then family came to town and, we're nearing the end of the school year when I'm recording this. And, things got a little nuts. I'm not going to lie. I am giving myself some grace. Also, I get itchy because I actually really love doing this. I love showing up for you. I love educating and sharing and relating and connecting. It is a really big deal to me. And so I felt really uncomfortable with the idea of skipping a week. But instead of looking at this way, here's your number one mindset tip to kick things off that I'm using. Instead of looking at it as, oh no, I skipped a week, I messed up, I'm behind, and get on my case about it, I thought, life is in flow. It's not always going to follow a rigid routine, and being flexible and managing, not lowering, but managing expectations is a really smart skill to have because it helps you maintain your peace. I've posted about this before on Instagram. Go find me. ABL Life Coaching. I've posted about this before that if you're managing your expectations and finding calm in the chaos, and then you're protecting your peace, but also you're learning to be happy no matter what, right? So when we're not checking boxes and we're not meeting deadlines and things aren't going perfectly and things aren't supposed to go perfectly, you can have a really great day where all the things get checked off, woohoo, and still not be happy, right? And still at the end of the day, think of the one thing, right? So learning how to navigate through your expectations and manage how you feel about things here and there. I mean, truly, protects your peace and you can teach yourself how to be happy no matter what. Having those moments of gratitude. The fact that I just have a podcast. I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for you being here. Ding. Forgot to put my do not disturb on. Shit happens. This is a good way to kick things off for this conversation today because I want to talk about life coaching. I want to talk about just overall the coaching industry and also my approach. Here's the thing. I am going to be real with you. I am a very honest, direct, kind person. That's who I am to a fault. You will see me, interact with me, and that is me. And I make absolute use of that in my sessions and in how I present the work I do. I'm going to be real with you if I'm having a tough day or if I need to change the schedule because things come up. I have kids who are 6 and 9 years old when I'm recording this. They're young, they're needy, they're supposed to be. And I'm also needy. I'm a human. I'm supposed to be just like you. We're all here for the same reason. You and I are here for the same reason, that we have needs and we're trying to figure out how to tend to them. So even though I can teach and speak to this work, I'm doing it myself. I am always a work in progress. I'm always learning and growing. I'm very active in that for my own personal life. And so my approach with coaching is learn and grow and do the work yourself. If I'm going to tell you or a client or someone curious about coaching a method or advice, I make sure that it's something I have seen work or I have done it myself. And something I love is when a client comes up with an action item, a method, a tool, something for them to try, and I fall in love with it and I think, gosh, you're brilliant. I love learning from my clients. You never know when your brain is going to allow you to access something that is magical and helps you operate better as a human being, and you can pass it along. And I've done that before. You'll hear me in sessions say, oh my gosh, I got to tell you, I learned this from a client. I want to pass it on to you. It's fantastic. And here it is. That has happened so many times. So you have to be open-minded to trying new ways and new methods. So that's where kind of the encouraging, motivating side of being a coach comes in, where we might develop something together that you've never done before, a way to decide something, choose something, figure something out that you've never accessed before for your life, and maybe that's the way to go. But I've seen things work. I've seen lives change. And so I am unafraid to go there, to push, to get deeper. I am unafraid. And maybe that is something about us coaches, right? That we just can't help it. We're not scared sometimes. I mean, we're scared. We're people, right? But as far as the work goes, it's a go for it kind of gig. And we're going to talk about some myths, some things that people think or think they know about coaching. I'm going to tell you more of my personal belief and and what works, but also we're going to do a little bit of fact checking. Like I said, this industry is huge. It's right up next to the wedding industry. Whoa. So it matters. It matters. You matter. That's why you're here. Let's do this. Let's get into what the heck is life coaching? What does a life coach do? Why do people go seek out life coaching? And what are the outcomes? What are the desired results? What are people aiming for when they think, oh my gosh, it's time for a life coach? So on my website, I have a basic definition. What is coaching? It's a relationship that is focused on encouraging and guiding the client to move forward in their life toward their goals. A coach helps the client discover the answers and not give them the answers. A coach helps the client develop their own action plans and strategies that work best for the client. A coach offers accountability and that little or big push you may need. I added that at the end, but it's a push, right? We come to this place in our lives where we need support, hence we reach out for life coaching. So that is coaching. It's a relationship, right? And it's meant to be supportive. It's meant to be a piece of accountability that is hard to access on your own or through people who are already present in your life. I have this list of reasons why people reach out. And one is that I'm not part of your regular lineup of friends, family, coworkers. I'm outside of that. And sometimes it's just easier to reach out to someone who can support you guilt-free. Remember, needs, guilt-free, because you're showing up, you're investing in yourself, you're investing in this experience to be able to focus on yourself. And you don't feel bad about it because this burden of, oh, I don't want to tell my friends all about it or keep telling my family members, or maybe it's a trust thing. Maybe it's just hard to trust somebody with all the things you're working on and wanting to do. And it's just easier and it feels safe. And that's the other thing about a life coach, a coach. It feels safe, right? It's a trusted, safe place where the person, the professional, is showing up for you purposefully because they want to, and it feels safe. So you go outside your regular network. It's a trusted space. It's just for you. So why are people coming to me? When does this happen, right? So I've mentioned this before. There's usually a ready feeling. It's you want to change something. You want to wrap your head around something that's already changed, or it is. It's about accessing those big, lofty goals and trying to succeed and trying to get that promotion or trying to make that career change or trying to make your relationship work. Making the huge move across the country. It's those, for me at least, it's those bigger life moments and learning how to deal with them if they're already happening or create them and own it, right? And show up for it and be game, basically. So it's a support system. That's the thing. And here's a myth I'll give you. Some people think, oh my gosh, if I go see a life coach, it means I don't have my shit together, my life's falling apart, and I need someone to help me figure myself out because I am a loser and I don't know what I'm doing. So if I go see a life coach, it means that I am weak. It means that I can't live my life by myself. I can't figure it out by myself. No. At least that's not who I see. The people who come to me want to do more and want to understand more or are going through a difficult time. And I work with high achievers, right? So I have people who are derailed by life. They are on a mission. They are doing the things they want to do. And then all of a sudden they have this lofty, amazing career that they think, oh my gosh, I don't want it anymore. What am I doing? Or I have this wonderful life and I'm still not accessing all of the things I want to do. There's a I want more or I need to make a change vibe. It's not I can't handle myself, I need you. So there's a myth right there. People think life coaching is, well, if you can't handle your life, go find a life coach. No, it's meant to be a support system. It's meant to be part of your team, right? To make your life the best it can be. It's not about, I feel weak, pick me up. And you know what? If you have a weak moment, coaching's, that's a good spot for that too. You're a human being. But I work with people who are just ready for something to shift, something to change. That's me. Now, I'm sure there's lots of life coaches out there who are helping people put themselves back together after a really hard time. And yeah, they're on the ground, they're rock bottom. And, occasionally that's sometimes what I see and how people feel. But there's a coach out there for everybody. There just is. And in my opinion, everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs a therapist. I have a therapist. I have a coach. I feel like my team is in place and I feel like my needs are a little more spread out as far as who I need for what. Like I have my friends, I have my family. I need support. It matters to me, especially as a parent. And so even though I'm coaching and I am capable and love it and study it and make it happen, I need support too. So, and there's going to be an episode, by the way, about mentorship. So there's kind of a difference between mentorship and life coaching. I've started to blend it a little bit depending on what my clients need. Okay, so a little bit of a myth, busted, hopefully. A little bit of who comes to see me and how this happens. And basically just know that if you're interested in life coaching or coaching, executive coaching, whatever kind of coaching, it doesn't mean something's wrong with you. For God's sakes, it means something's right with you. It means you want to grow and learn and access more of your potential and have a good life. If it just comes down to the one thing, right? It just means you have this urge to have a good life. So be proud of yourself if you're curious about investing in coaching. Now, it is an investment. It is not a cheap industry. There's a reason for that. It takes time. It takes energy. It is personal. It is emotional. And it matters. And it's changing your life. So if you come to me, for example, or any coach, the plan is to change or honor or navigate through something difficult or exciting or hard, whatever it may be, but you're changing your life, you're making it better. That's priceless. I mean, this might be my opinion, but when you're investing in your happiness, I mean, that's worth everything. And that's one reason why this industry has gotten so big. Yes, it's profitable and people are figuring out that they can make pretty decent money in this profession, if you're really into it and figure out how to do it. But it matters. It's proof that people are accessing this personal development world because they're realizing it's a need. It's well-being. It is making your life better. So it matters. I have this belief that when you are an adult and you have started to realize more of who you are and what you're all about and what matters to you, if you start wanting to make life updates, if you start wanting to think of things differently or carry yourself through situations differently, if that starts to really matter to you, I have this thought that you're trying to access the version of yourself that wasn't raised in that way. Okay, so that sounds really funny, but I have this theory that we're re-raising ourselves when we continue to learn and grow and find our happiness and figure out what makes us tick, what makes us feel successful. I can't tell you how many times people say, when I was a kid, or that's how my mom did it, or that's what I always heard from my dad, or I had a teacher say that to me when I was younger, or that's just the way I've always operated. Like, it's amazing how much of your upbringing is present in a coaching session and in the reason why you're there. I'm getting to the point of the results, the outcome people want. And I mentioned, you're trying to make a change, right? You're trying to rise to the occasion, the thing that dwells and nags at you in your mind, whether it's, like I said, processing something emotional or getting that promotion at work, whatever it may be, you're trying to access that, you're trying to figure it out. But so often it's the inner child that shows up. It's the way you were raised that keeps you stuck. So let me bring us to kind of the difference between coaching and therapy too. So therapy is very much about digging deep into the past, the emotions that are still present from the past and working through that, right? So you're able to move forward. It's kind of the same process with coaching, except that it's moving forward only. However, if there is a block, if there is something emotional or something that is stuck from your past, at least with me, it is welcome in sessions, because if it's going to get us past that stuck point, we're going to do it. We're going to go there. I'm not afraid of that. I feel very confident in talking someone through and listening through certain things, because part of the job of a coach, at least, any coach, but a life coach specifically, when I'm listening, it's 80% listening, 20% talking. That's the point. We're listening for the words not being spoken. We're listening for the pain points. We're listening for the things that are holding you back. So when I say you're re-raising yourself, it means you're trying to decide how you want to continue forward, that's what coaching is. Let's move you forward by accessing or rewiring parts of you that were not raised to help you thrive. So it happens all the time. I'll give you an example of someone who lives in like the victim mindset, right? Something was modeled for them in the victim mindset way, the blaming others, not taking responsibility. This is just an example. It's amazing how much that still is something you're living and doing. And so even though I'm not a therapist, life coaches are not to be, we're supposed to be trained to recognize when this is something for a therapist versus something for a life coach, right? If there's something we can do, talk through or put action to, I'm all over it. If there's something deeper there, if there's a medical condition there, I'm trained to say, hey, listen, there might be something more here that I'm not going to be able to help you with the best. But I love partnering too with a therapist. If someone is seeing a therapist to go deep and dig up some of these things and work through them, and they're coming to me and say, okay, here's what I figured out about myself. Here's how I was thinking about this. Now I want to do something. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's figure out what you want to do. So we're accessing a new way to carry ourselves and re-raising ourselves. We're learning how to parent ourselves differently. And that's kind of my vision of the personal development world. How can we parent ourselves and grow up and grow forward and be the person we want to be and do the things we want to do and not listen to all the noise Oh, so many people think about the opinions of others and the people pleasing, and then you're not doing the things you want to do. So it's a huge part, at least for me, and pretty sure the majority of the industry is like, let's show up authentically so you can do the thing you actually want to do instead of the thing you think you're supposed to do. Another possible misconception in the life coaching world too is that everyone's treated kind of the same with the same formula. But let's talk about how this isn't cookie cutter, right? You're not going to come to a life coach and they say, okay, this is what we do, this is how we're going to do it, and go. Okay, you did it. It's not cookie cutter. It's personal. It's meant to be. It's about what works for you. Let's do that thing. And that's how you're going to find success and reach those results and the outcomes that you want. It's not the same for everybody because it's not supposed to be. So if anyone ever says, oh, they'll just, do the same thing with you that they did with, the other person, maybe it's the same kind of theme, but what works for you might not work for somebody else. And that's part of the job of a coach, is to discover what is going to work for you and then do the thing that works for you. Life coaches and coaches generally are meant to encourage and help you with your personal needs and help you with your professional needs. In the definition, it says a coach is not just going to give you direct advice. It's about helping you discover the things you need to do and come up with your own plans. Now, granted, we partner on that and I can help. And sometimes I do dish out assignments like, okay, here for the weekend, try this, see how it feels. But it is all coming from you. So as I'm listening during the session, I'm thinking, okay, they said something there. Let's use that. And so if I ever say, here, try this, it's because you've said it in some way and I'm making use of it. And it does take work, right? You can't pull up a chair to the personal development table and sit there and listen and take notes and do nothing. You have to do the work. If you're saying, I want this, I need this, then no one's going to do it for you at the end of the day. You get the accountability, you get the support, but at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's up to you to do the work. The last class I taught, and really any group coaching or one-on-one coaching that I do, I always say, listen, like at the end of the day, I'm going to do all I can to be there for you and help you and listen to you, but you are responsible for executing. So if you want to put this into simplified terms of what is personal development, what do people seek, whether it's listening to a podcast, reading a book, or hiring a coach, if you are going to call yourself to action in the personal development world, you are probably trying to go after one or all of these or 5 things. Mental growth, right? This is where we develop your mind, whether it's knowledge or just mindset tools. Social growth, improving your communication skills. That's something I really focus on myself. Spiritual growth, getting more in touch with yourself and what matters to you, finding your peace, that kind of stuff. This emotional growth, which is where I feel the re-raising yourself, learning how to parent yourself in your adulthood, the emotional growth matters. Or it's physical growth. There's all kinds of coaches out there, including health coaches, fitness coaches. That could be what you are going after. So mental growth, social growth, spiritual, emotional, or physical growth. Those are usually the things people are going after. My tagline, if you will, my mission is envision, empower, embrace. So let's visualize the life you want. Let's get you fired up about it and make some plans and then actually do the thing. Let's embrace it. Let's do it. So I've had people come to me and say, I want to eat healthier. And I might not be the expert on eating healthier, even though I have my ways and I've learned a lot. I might say, hey, like, let's come up with a plan that works for you. And that might include hiring a nutritionist or seeing someone at the gym or talking to someone who is an expert in nutrition and fitness. And so I've coached people to reach out to other people. With life coaching, it's what do you want to do? How do we want to do it? And if you're choosing this road of coaching as your support system, it takes time. It's not always an overnight situation. In fact, most of the time, especially with what I do is bigger changes, it doesn't happen in 2 seconds. And you will make mistakes and some things won't work, but you have to continue trying because that's just life, right? But with a coach, you can access more of a direct line to the things you want to do because you're focused. And you're gonna have some uncomfortable feelings. I'm a transition coach, right? So you're going through changes. Change is icky sometimes. Change feels weird until you fully embrace what you're changing into. It's not always the easiest thing to move through. Personal development has no finish line. If you think of climbing a mountain and reaching the top is so fantastic. But the journey there, when you reach the top, is what you're most proud of. And then you keep going. So if you can accept that personal development is a road that doesn't end, but it is a road that elevates your life and can make you happier and feel like you're achieving more, but knowing also that it takes work and that growth just keeps going. It sounds crazy, but it's true. If you're not growing, you might as well just be dead, because you're supposed to continue growing and learning your entire life. That is one of my great motivators for doing the personal development work for myself and for being a part of that industry for others. You got to do the work because it's worth it, because you're worth it. This is why I say at the end of every episode, your needs matter because you matter. If something is itching and poking at you and you need it, it's your right as a person to go after that and to see what you need to do to tend to that need. And if it's through hiring a coach, by golly, do it. The best investment you'll ever make is in yourself. Remember, it's a $40 billion industry that's growing and growing because it's important, and it makes all of our lives better. To focus on how to make our world a better place, to find peace, to find happiness, to feel successful. If everyone does this, what a movement. If everyone wants to learn and grow and better themselves and better their lives, everyone benefits. Pretty cool, if you ask me. I'm going to wrap this up with a bonus interview with my children. My son is 9. My daughter is 6. Let's ask them what they think I do. Let's ask them what their opinion is of life coaching, and then I'll send you on your way. Thanks for being here. Your needs matter because you matter. Hey, buddy, this is my son, Brock. Say hi.
Hey.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you think life coaching is? What do you think Mom does?
I think it's kind of like people call you for you to help them with their lives, and when you do, they pay you.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. How do you think I help them?
By telling them positive information and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. It's pretty good. Anything else?
No, I think you're good.
Okay, so here's my daughter, Logan. Logan, say hi.
Hi.
Get closer.
Hi.
Okay. What do you think it is that Mommy does? What do you think life coaching is?
I think life coaching is what Mom supports people who have a great life and things.
Yeah, anything else? Thank you.
Call my mom, she's a good life coach.
Oh, thanks, honey. Can you say bye?
Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you for listening to the Needy and Normal podcast. Did this episode feel like a direct message to you? Ooh, reach out. I'm here for you. Please take a moment to leave me a review and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. To learn about coaching together, visit ablifecoaching.com or find me on Instagram at ABL Life Coaching. Talk soon.